In this video, you will be seeing both the Barrens and Westfall, both of which have been slightly changed. In Revelation WoW, Westfall is now more of an autumn-style zone with lots of red pine trees and similar as nature. This little fly-through right here will show you what I mean by that. While most of the zone is left relatively unchanged, you will see that there are a lot more trees in the zones, but mostly, as you notice, they're along the walkways, and that's for good reason. It has made the road extra dangerous. Though, unlike another town within the zone, unfortunately, Sentinel Hill has not been changed much. Going past Sentinel Hill, you will now see what I am talking about. As you run through and see all of the trees lined up against the road, it's much more dangerous because there are Defias hiding within these trees who will jump out and try to ambush you. Sometimes you will not see them as they hide very well. Other times, like you will see soon here, they will jump out and get you just at the crossroads of a road, or sometimes they'll be standing next to a tree. You will now see Moonbrook, which is fortified, unlike the retail version where it is not fortified, it's just a small town. So obviously the Defias are up to something if it is this well walled and manned, unlike Sentinel Hill. The Dungeon the Dead Mines is still there, as you see, as well as the Pillagers that will one-shot you if you get too close. So that's all for Westfall. Now to go to the Barrens, which is more obviously changed as you see all of the various cherry blossoms and grass throughout the entirety of the zone. Not only that, the oasis that you used to be the source of water within this barren wasteland are now torrents of lava, one of which hosts a brand new world boss, which you don't see in this clip here as I think it was just recently killed on the server, but you do get to see it in my streams, so be sure to tune into that if you wanted to see the world boss. Both of these zones, the Westfall and the Barren zone, now known as the Valley of Life, still have the exact same layout as the original zone with a different look to it. You do have the Venture Co. mine up in the top corner of the Barrens, where you do the Cat's Eye Emerald quest. That one is completely different from the original version. Though, beyond that, most of the zone, as I said before, is still relatively the same. Going down south is when it starts to get a little bit more different. The Gorge that once separated the northern and southern end of the Barrens is now filled with water. There are floating trees on top of crystals. I don't know exactly what that represents, but you can see them in the footage here. Going east to Ratchet, the city itself is still the same. However, I would not be going for a swim if I were you, as the entirety of the bay is filled with elite sharks and piranhas. And it's not just that too, pretty much everywhere along the coast of Kalimdor is the exact same, filled with elite piranhas and sharks. So swimming is not so much an option anymore on this server. But besides Ratchet and the Gorge, we continue moving south. Camp Taho is still pretty much the exact same, though as we move further south into the Quillo lands, you will see a wall manned by a bunch of guards. And above that, you see dragons flying overhead. Now, at first, I thought this was sand, like turning from life into death kind of situation, but on second look, I think it is actually supposed to be snow, though I am not quite sure if it is sand just with a weird lighting, or if it's supposed to be snow. Either way, you can see the mounted ogres dead to the tree. This is supposed to be part of the storyline that will revolve around the ogres and the dragons in the Dustwallow Wilds area, which will be the next video. Turning into the Quillo area, there is a brand new opening, not from the original game. I went into it to see what it's all about, and it is a vast brand new area, though it is relatively empty. I believe eventually this will become an outdoor dungeon area, though I'm not for sure what it could be besides that. The dragons flying overhead in the southern Barrens can be aggroed, and they are very high level as well as elite, so I wouldn't recommend trying to take one on if I were you, though luckily they fly high enough overhead that it's not that much of an issue. Though now we head past Razorfriend Crawl and Razorfriend Down, where you will see a little tidbit of the 1,000 Needles, which is one of the reasons why I believe the Southern Barrens is ice instead of sand, as this whole next region here is covered in ice and is reminiscent of the Dragonblight zone from Northrend. However, you will have to wait until another video in order to see this zone. Just the same, you will have to tune in next time to see the Dust Wallow Wilds area, which you will get a little bit of a tidbit here, but in essence it is similar to the Barrens, where it is full of life, dragons flying overhead, as well as some other updates. So, until then, I hope you subscribe and stay tuned to see more of the Revelation WoW updates to the various zones, and I will see you next time.